Hey everyone, Chevy 1000 here. Today we're going to be changing the transmission fluid and the oil in the Chevy Traverse. This is 2010. Um, it is an unserviceable transmission. That means there's no screen to change or anything like that. You just change the fluid. The screen, the actual filter, is up inside the transmission. So if you're going to change it, you're rebuilding it. So it's unserviceable, but they do make it easy for you to change. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to change the oil. It needs it. It's been needing it for a while. Fun fact, Advance Auto does not carry Wix filters. They do not sell them. So I had to get a Pure later, but it's better than the Fram that's on it. So, alright guys, let me get this up in the air, get you set down here, and we'll get started on this thing, and won't take very long. We drove up the parts store. That way it's nice and warm. You always want your engine to be warm when you're changing these kinds of fluids. So I know it's a little dark, but I'm in the shade, which makes it also a little chilly. So let's get this up in the air. We'll do the intro first. We'll get this up in the air, and then we'll just start draining some fluids. So we want to take, I'll show you if I can. Right there, you're going to want to take your dipstick out. I'm going to take that out. There's a rubber O-ring on here. You want to check it and make sure it's still good, it's not cracked. If it is, replace it. Alright, so we're going to do that. Now we're going to get it up in the air and get it on a stand. I don't think I'm going to raise both sides, just the one side so I can get under there. But we'll see. Okay, so as you can see, I shook it, made sure it ain't gonna fall on me. Now we got to get under here, and I'm gonna find the drain plugs, see what size they are. We'll get a couple wrenches. Okay guys, so right here, this is an 11mm. That's my drain plug for my transmission. As you can see, has a leak here somewhere. I'm gonna have to find out where that is and fix that at a later time, because I'm probably going to have to pull this transmission out. But there it is. I don't have you on a small stand, but let me break this loose. It's not real super tight. Take this out, and we're going to let it drain. It doesn't look too bad, but it needs it. Alright, so I'm going to let this drain, and then once this drains, I'm going to dump this into another container. Wipe this off with my rag here. And I can't remember what wrench I used to take the filter off. because I have changed oil in here before, but it's way overdue. A mechanic's vehicle is always the worst one in town, but it's ready for it. So there it is. So it's nice and warm. I'm gonna let that drain for a while, and then I'll dump this into another container. Should take about 5 quarts. I got 5 quarts. Some people say 5.3, but it could be a little less too, because this is not a flush, guys. Everybody calls this a flush. It's not a flush because up in the radiator you have a tank inside that radiator that this flows through, and it keeps the transmission cool. So you're going to have fluid in there. You're still going to have fluid in the torque converter. So this is not a flush, this is just a change. So if you want to flush it, you know, you got to blow all the lines out, you got to get this, you know, some vacuum stuff, and it's just kind of a pain. There it goes. So I'm going to let this finish draining, and then I'll be back with you as soon as this is drained. The oil plug is right over here. There's the oil plug there. I'll have to get a wrench for it. I can't remember what size it is. And then, okay. And then we'll get it drained. But this should take about 5 quarts-ish. And it is kind of at an angle. I should have jacked the other side up, but I didn't, but it'll be okay. So I'm just gonna let this keep draining until it's just dripping. If you got time, let it drain all night. But I'll be back with you guys. I gotta change your battery anyway. Okay, now we're just gonna drain this, or dump this into this can here. I've got another use for this stuff too. You can save this stuff and put it in squirt cans, and it's a great it's a great lubricant for breaking bolts loose and stuff. This stuff really seeps in. Just about 5 quarts, and that's what I got. But you're always going to want to check it too. So let's get this under here, and we're going to change the oil next. Okay, now here's the oil. It's a 15 millimeter. And again, this should take about 5 quarts. Boy, I wish I had a lift. Well, I wish I had a place to put a lift, and I'd just buy a lift, but now, same thing. We're gonna let this drain. I got you propped up on this rag. I already got the plug in the transmission, and so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let this drain, and I'll be back with you guys. Now down there, that orange and black thing right there, there's the filter. Yeah, you got to get it from up top. So I'm going to let that finish draining. I'm going to put the plug in, then I'll move my pan over here, and I'm going to go get a wrench, filter wrench, that'll get that. I had to put a frame on here. I couldn't even find a Purelator or anything last time I changed oil. Hate them frames, but what are you going to do when you absolutely have to have it, you know? So, alright, let me see what kind of oil filter wrench I've got in there, and we'll get ready to take that filter off, because there's something about the filter that's very important I want people to know. There's misconception about, okay? And I'm going to clear that up, and I'm going to clear it up today, so stick around. Okay guys, so I used this because my regular oil filter wrenches are in my other box that I can't get to at the moment real easily. So I just used this chain thing, worked fine. It's loose. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop this out of here. Make sure nothing's going on the ground. Alright, there's our frame. Now I'm going to wipe this off. I'm going to take it over here and match it up with the new one and make sure we got the right one. Okay, now as you can see, the purelator is smaller. See that? It's shorter, but everything else is the same. What I did was, I looked it up. On here, 2010 Chevrolet Traverse. The engine is a 3.6 liter. And it calls for the PBL 12222. Alright. And that's what we have here. PBL 12222. Alright. Now, if your oil filter goes straight up in, it's best to fill these up. Fill them up with oil before you put it on. Since this goes this way, I can't do that. So, but what you're going to want to do, everybody knows, you put oil around this seal. Now, why do you do that? I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, it's to keep it from leaking. No, you never have to seal a rubber seal. You never have to put any kind of sealant on a rubber seal. So, if you got a leak, you got other problems. All this does is keep this from ripping. Because once, you know, I've already dried it off, but once you dry that off and this is dry and you go to tighten that, and you only tighten these hand tight, guys. Only as tight as you can get it with your hand. That's it. Because if you don't oil this, it will rip that seal or break the glue on this it's actually a gasket, and when that happens, you'll have a leak. That's why they leak. It's not because you didn't put oil on it, it's because you didn't put oil on it and ripped the seal. So that's why you put oil on these. It's not, like I said, to keep it from leaking. That couldn't be farther from the truth. It's just to keep that seal from ripping when you screw that up on there. So remember that. And what I like to do, which I didn't on that one, is if I've got a pen, which I don't, that's why I didn't write on that one. Like this one, you might want to put, you know, the date that you did this on. A lot of guys will put the date of the next change. That doesn't make sense. Put the date that it was changed. Like today, I would put today's date on there. But I don't have my silver paint pen. So, alright. So since that's okay, we're going to go ahead and put that up in there. And then I'm going to spray it down with brake cleaner. I got some brake cleaner over there on the ground. Right there. And I also sprayed the plugs. The oil plug and the transmission plug. I sprayed them down, cleaned them off, let them dry. So that way, if when I take this for a drive and bring it back, I'll be able to see real easy if it's leaking or not. So let me get this put in there and I'll be back with you, and we'll get this down off the stand and we'll fill it up with some fluids. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our transmission fluid in. I took 5 quarts out, so I know it's going to hold this 4 quarts. Yeah, it's Fram, but at least it's not a filter. This is full synthetic. It's Dextron 6 is what this calls for. But again, it's all I could get. They didn't have any other transmission fluid that would work in this vehicle other than this Fram. They had all kinds of transmission fluid, but it was just different for different vehicles and stuff. So let's go ahead. We're going to dump this in here. Like I said, I know it's going to take all 4. But once we get the oil in, I will start it up and check it to make sure it's going to take the 5, because you don't want to overfill your transmission, or your engine for that matter. If you overfill your transmission, it's real easy to blow some seals out, as it gives it too much pressure and stuff. So in an engine, it's always better to run a quart low than it is a quart overfull. I know a lot of people's going to give me some flack about that. No, that's not true. Yeah, it is. It's true. Because if your rods are coming down and hitting the oil, it's aerating it, meaning it's putting air bubbles in, and it could cause an air bubble to get in your system low, and then you'll have low oil pressure. So yeah, it's better to run a quart low than it is a quart overfill. Alright, so there's this. I'll put my oil that I took out, the old oil, back in this container. Now, I know this takes 5 quarts of oil, so I got a 5-quart oil jug. We're going to go ahead and just put 5 quarts in. Well, I'll put 4 in, start it, and we'll check it, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 quarts. But let me go get that. I did get the Valvoline synthetic blend high mileage. It's 1040. I'm running 1040 in here because I like to run 1040. We live in Florida and it gets hot down here even in the winter time. So now up north I would run 1040 in the summer and 1030 in the winter. But this I just run it year round, 40 weight and everything. Alright, I'm going to put about 4 quarts in here and then we'll start it up and check it. I'm not going to bore you with this. You got the keys to this thing? Because I know you took them in the house.
Of course. They're in the house.
She does that all the time. She takes them in the house knowing I'm going to be working on this thing. Or anything we drive for that matter. Okay, I'll be back with you in a second. She's putting out she got a solar powered Christmas tree, lighted thing, Christmas tree. Alright, enough of that. Okay, let's check our oil first. Now you know what? Let's check the transmission first, but first I'm going to put it down and run it through the gears. Alright guys, we're going to check the oil. I'll be back with you in a second. A friend of mine just showed up. Okay guys, so I checked the oil and it took the 5 quarts. Now we're going to check the transmission fluid. Let me start this back up. I'm gonna put a little bit more in. It's about a pint low. I gotta get the extra quart out. So I'll put about half of this in. That'll be about a pint. And we'll take it for a drive and see how well it does. About a pint. Now, I run it through the gears again. Check it again. Alright, I'm going to put the rest of that quart in there and I'll check it again, then we'll take it for a ride. Alright, she needs some fluid in here. I got some. Let's go ahead and take this for a little drive. It's right on the full mark. Make sure it's shifting like it's supposed to. And then I'll check it again, make sure there's no leaks and all that stuff, of course, but I think it's going to be alright. Oh yeah, clicking them right off. This is a 6-speed transmission. And you can shift it manually too. Yes, we got the brakes squealing but I went ahead and picked up some brake pads. So but I don't have time to do it today. She's got an appointment and then she's gonna go see her mom, so hopefully Saturday I can do them if, you know, if everything goes all right tomorrow. But yeah, this, oh, I hate crows. That's a good story time. I think I told it once before, but it's been a long time, so. But this thing has a button here on the side, right here. If you pull this down and low, you can shift it automatically, or not automatically, you can shift it manually. See, there's one. There's two. There's three. There's 4, 5, and 6. So that's pretty cool. Then you can downshift it the same way by pushing the button down. So, but you just put it up into drive and it'll shift on its own. So I think we're good to go, guys. Like I said, I'll check it one more time, but I think it's all right. I'll make sure there's no leaking and all that stuff. So I'm going to do that. Meantime, I'm going to let you guys go. I know you guys will be seeing this video tomorrow because, like I said, I wanted to be a video or two ahead just in case, you know, I can't make one tomorrow. But so today's actually Thursday, but you'll be seeing this tomorrow, which is Friday. But either way, I think I'll let you know how my my heart cath went. So, but yeah, and there's no lights on except for the low tire light, and that's because that is for the right front, and it just needs one of those monitors put in. It's not a big deal. I'm not worried about it because I know which one it is, and I check all the stuff regularly. At least once a month I'll come out, I'll plug the scanner into it and everything like that, and I check it and make sure everything's still good to go, and it is. It's charging about 14.8 volts. That's good. It runs about 198 degrees, and it's always run like that. So this thing does have 288 horsepower. That's amazing on 3.6 liter, which would be what, right around 217 cubic inch, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and wrenching with me for a little bit today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, so again, thanks a lot. Shea Bear, the myth, the man, the legend. I'm gone for now. We'll see you guys soon. Bye bye, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.